Hello and welcome to Molotov Garage. Today we have a 2012 Toyota Prius, and what we're going to be doing is an oil change in this car, and what I'll be filming is the actual oil change. In addition to the oil change, I'll be rotating the tires on this thing, which you don't have to watch that. I'm sure most of you know how to do that, or you go to a tire shop to get those free rotations from Firestone, America's Tire, American Tire Depot, whatnot. So let's get into this oil change. Let's open up the hood. Get this pop-up thing going. So I'll be using an AMSOIL kit that I purchased on AMSOIL website. We've got an AMSOIL filter for the Prius that comes with the kit when you type in your vehicle information into their website, and they kind of give you a handy-dandy funnel, and the car takes 5 quarts of oil, and I had them send me 6, so that way, in case I need to top off or whatnot. So this is their top of the line Signature Series oil. They do have OEM quality oil, which is kind of a lower grade, just like OEM oil is. You know, you don't have to spend that kind of money for on the Signature Series oil like I did. I do prefer a better quality oil in my cars because what I believe is cars are like airplanes. You know, you ever sat on an airplane and realized it's 30 to 40 years old, and the only thing they've been doing is changing parts in it, and it's as good as new. So same with cars. Change the fluids, change a little part here and there, and it'll last you forever. So we've got the oil ready. Like I said, we only need 5 quarts. The quart number 6 will be like a spare in our situation here. And what we're gonna do is, because this Prius is so low to the ground, we're gonna jack it up. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the jacks out and jack it up on both sides, and I'll be right back with you. And so I'm jacking the car up from that center point, and of course, before you do that, make sure you put like chocks behind the rear wheels. I got one on each side, so make sure the car doesn't roll back. And once the car is high enough, we're going to go ahead and put jacks underneath the car. And if you look under, there's 2 little notches here. This is where we're going to put the jack. Looks like we need to lift it up a little higher. All right, we've got jack under 1. And we're gonna put the jack under the other. Again, you can see the two notches here. And I'm gonna slowly lower this to see if that works. Okay, and I'm just gonna fix the position on this jack. I kind of didn't like how it ended up underneath when I was jacking it, so I'll lift it again just to be secure. Put it right in the center. There you go. So now we have the car on the jack. We have supporting jacks on both sides, so I would say we're pretty secure to go ahead and get underneath this car and start draining the oil. And before we drain the oil, of course, I like to remove the oil cap. Wow, it's really stuck on there. It's hard to remove. There you go. The cap is off. Wow, that was really stuck on there. So I'll put this on a little rag here to the side. And I'll go ahead and take out the dipstick and place it here as well. And I think now I'm ready to get underneath the car. Start draining the oil and removing the filter. All right, I'm actually back on top of the engine, and while I was preparing to change the oil, I decided to increase the game on this car and actually flush the engine with the Liquimoly engine flush. One bottle is enough for 3 to 5 liters, which is about 3 to 5 quarts. So what I'll be doing is adding this to the engine, and then I'll put the car in the power mode so the engine runs for about 10-15 minutes while it's kind of washing out all the internals. The car does take 4.4 quarts of oil. I did double check on the AMSOIL website, it's 4.4 quarts. I'm adding Signature Series 0W20 synthetic oil, and obviously there are other options. You can actually, you don't have to get the Signature Series oil. You could do, hybrid motor oil. You could do extended life motor oil, or you could do original manufacturer's motor oil kind of level. And they're all different price, and it definitely gets cheaper as you go down to the manufacturer level oil. And I do put in the Signature Series, which is the best. And so today we'll be needing 4.4 quarts of it. So without further ado, I'll go ahead and add the engine flush into this engine. We actually went ahead and put the dipstick back into the engine. All right, the engine flush is in, and one bottle is enough for this engine. And so what I actually just did now is I checked online. The capacity on this engine is 4.4 quarts, so it is actually 4.1 liters. And I just made sure that this is enough. So this one can treats up to 5 liters. So one can is enough for the Prius. So let's close this up. And I'll go ahead and start the engine. The car is jacked, but it's okay. And I'll put this into power mode. Is the power mode on? Yeah. Power mode is on. A green light right there, that's power mode. So we're gonna let this car run for 15 minutes and we'll be right back. It's 5:20 right now. We'll be back at 5:35 to shut the engine off. So I'm in the car right now, and I noticed the engine has shut off. And so what I had to do is press the pedal slightly to make sure the engine is running in order for the oil flush, engine oil flush, to take place appropriately. I'm not pressing the gas all the way in, just slightly enough to make this engine run, because while the engine flush is in the engine, we prefer that it be running and flushing all the stuff out. All right, we are back. It's 5:35, so we're going to be shutting this engine off. It's been running for 15 minutes and flushing out the engine. And I've been just sitting inside and holding the gas pedal because, you know, these hybrids have an auto shut off feature, which is sort of annoying and detrimental to our engine flush procedure. So now that we have performed the engine flush, I'll go ahead and open up the oil cap. There's the empty bottle there. That'll go on the floor for now. And I'll remove the dipstick. And now we're going to get underneath the car. I swear to God I will, because I know I've said it already that I'm getting underneath the car to drain it. And actually I decided to do the engine flush, and then we're going to be adding Ceratec friction modifier as well at the end of this oil change. Alright, so I actually ended up doing is having to remove the front wheel in order to easier access the oil drain. Alright, so we are currently under the car, and there's a flap that we need to remove in order to expose the area where the drain bolt and the oil filter is. So I'll go grab some pliers and make that happen. All right, so with the wheel off, it looks like we might actually have easier access to the oil drain. Couple of plastic whatever the heck you call these things, without actually breaking them. I do have a tool to remove them. I don't want to hassle looking for it right now. So here's one, and then there's one right here as well.
I'm just using the pointy pliers to kind of just pull that out. Make sure it didn't break. Yep, it's in good shape. Oh, there's one more. And what I'm going to do is basically, you can see the flap, it bends out this way, and then it does have like an area here you can secure the flap into like a hole. So you can see this. I'm just gonna stick like a screwdriver in there so it doesn't come out. So it sort of look like this. My screwdriver is holding it. Here we have a drain plug and the filter. So I'll go ahead and put the light in here. I'm just bringing my handy dandy oil drain pan, and I'm gonna grab some tools and remove this this drain plug. It looks like might be a 15 millimeter. No. Let me try a 14. Yep, 14 millimeter. Go ahead and remove the drain plug. And I have the pan ready once this thing starts flowing. Yep, there it is. Now hold on to the plug. And there's the oil. The oil is pretty dark, so looks like it's a good time to change it, and that's exactly what we're doing right now. The way this oil plug is set up, it just shoots off to the side, so I had to move the pan a little bit to make sure it doesn't just spill all over the place. While this is draining, I'm using this filter removal tool, and I'll go ahead and start removing the filter. Alright, I actually just attached a filter removal tool to a breaker bar. Looks like this filter is really stuck in there. There you go. It actually gave way. Now that was an adventure. It looks like this oil hasn't been changed in a couple of years. So I got the drain pan ready. Looks like we got some oil coming out already. And there it is. There's the filter housing. I'll go ahead and change the filter.
Alright, so I've got the oiled filter out. It's sitting inside this housing. And I got my wrench removal tool attached to it right now. I'll go ahead and grab the new filter. So we've got the brand new AMSOIL filter ready to go. Alright, what I want to do is remove the old filter. Inside there's like a little drum. Probably dump some of this oil out. Give this filter housing a little wipe down. Give it some love before inserting it back into the engine. We've got the gasket here. Looks like we're probably going to replace it. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the AMSOIL filter kit. We've got the new filter in here. So I'll go ahead and remove it from the packaging. So this is the new filter. It's quite interesting. Looks different from the old one. But looks pretty good to me. We've got the new gasket. Alright, so I'll remove the old one. I'll put all the old stuff in this box right here so it doesn't get mixed up with the new stuff. Off goes the old gasket, and on we put the new one. So looks pretty good to me. And wipe this down a little bit. Remove any weird residues that might prevent this from sealing properly. And I'm gonna head and insert the new filter. And looks pretty good. There's like a spring mechanism in there, so it looks like it's sitting there pretty well. Go ahead and set this to the side for later recycling. Wipe down my little work area.
It looks like the oil have come to a drip. Now I can finally confidently close the drain bolt, and we're not going to be using any fancy torque on this. It's just hand tighten the bolt. All right, we're good on that. And go ahead and put the filter in its housing and close this door up with the help of this handy filter contraption. Okay, the filter is in and it's pretty snug. So I'll take this cover off. Alright, and now that we've put the drain plug back in and the filter is in, I'll go ahead and remove my screwdriver that's holding this cover, and then we'll put this cover back. And these are just plastic clips. When I removed them, they remained unbroken, so that's a good thing. You can close them up without any issues. So there's 3 of them, 1, 2, and 3. So 1, 2, and 3. So they're all closed up, and can lower the car and fill it up with oil.
So while the car was up, I actually, before adding the oil, I actually went ahead and rotated the tires. You know, it's not part of this video, but I figured I'll mention it anyway. I used the jack point in the back and one in the front, and I'm using the jacks, you know, under each side here. I think for the future sake I might need 2 more jacks like this for the rear, left and right side, drivers and passengers, because the car is sort of, you know, wobbly right now. And so what I'll do is let's drop the car to the ground. All right, here goes the back, and I'll lift up the front so I could remove the jacks, and then we can lower the car and actually start filling it with oil, because the car does have to be level. That's 1 jack. I'll set that to the side right here. Go ahead and grab the 2nd jack. And then now we're ready to drop the car. And we'll do it slowly. We don't want to actually slam the car to the ground. All right, now the car is level on the ground. And then I'll go ahead and use a funnel. And then what we have to do is pour in 4.4 quarts of oil. So I've got 4 that I'm going to go ahead and pour in there. So we got 1. 2. Three. And 4. All right, now that we're 4 quarts in, what I want to do is go ahead and put the cover back on. And no, we're not full yet. So what I'm going to do is check the level with the dipstick. All right, looks like we are full. However, we know that we need to start the engine and let it run. So that's what I'm going to do next. And grab the keys. And then let's fire this up and let it run for a minute. And I'm going to turn on the power mode so the engine runs. And let it run for a minute. So the engine has been running for about a minute. What I'm going to do now is shut the engine off, and let's check that oil level. And so we are, as expected, halfway to a full. So I don't know if you could see, but this dot right here, and the oil stops right about here. So we're going to add a little bit more oil. And actually, what I'm going to do is actually add some Ceratec first and shake it first. So the Ceratec is a friction modifier, and it improves the performance of the engine, and it does have benefits. They are described in the back here on the packaging. For example, it reduces friction and wear, and the ceramic that's in this, it fills microscopic irregularities in the metal. It prevents direct metal-to-metal contact. An additional agent utilizes the friction agent's energy to further smooth the metal parts and anneal its surfaces. So this saves fuel, increases the service life of the engine, and it's good for 50,000 kilometers, which is about 30,000 miles. So I like to add it to my cars about 20,000. So I'll go ahead and fill this up. we do need to add a little bit more oil. And I'll check the level momentarily. Since this does take 4.4 quarts. So the oil level is almost at full. I'm going to leave it at that. Since I went ahead and added some oil and the friction modifier, I'm just going to run this engine another minute. All right, so I went ahead and ran the engine for another minute. I'm going to check that oil level again. And it's actually right almost there. You could see next to the full mark. I'll just add a little tiny bit of oil and then let's call it a day. All right, that'll do it. Close the cap, and I'm going to put this decorative cover back on. Snap it in again. And then we're going to be using this label to put on the windshield. That will reflect that we have poured in a bottle of Ceratec. Going to remove all this leftover oil. That will be saved for a later use. And this is it. This is how you do the oil change in the 2012 Toyota Prius. And what I'm going to do is actually close the hood. And I'll show you how to reset the oil service counter. So what you want to do is get in the car, and without pressing the brake, push the power button twice. And then make sure on the screen that you are on trip A. And then go ahead and turn the car off. And then with your middle finger, press the MPH and kilometers button. And you press the power button twice. 1, 2. And so what you see is now resetting the maintenance data. So now that the maintenance data is reset, and now the oil change has been complete. Now I can go ahead and turn that off, and the oil change has been completed. So with that, we have now completed the oil change on this 2012 Toyota Prius. Got some hubcaps off the wheels right now. I'm gonna torque the wheels to the specs, but as far as the oil change, it has been completed. Thank you for watching the Molotov Garage channel, and I appreciate your time and value your viewership. Please like and subscribe, and do go ahead and go in the description, and you can click on the products and buy the oil and all the tools needed to complete this oil change yourself in your own garage. Thank you everyone, and have a good day.